Hi, good morning. My name is Scott Forcino. I'm the founder of PlugIntro.com. I'm an associate broker with eXp Realty out in metro area in New York City. And I'm really proud today to have the chance to begin our video interview series with Whitney Hall, who's a mortgage loan professional in Southwest Florida. He's going to let us know about his business, his history, his background, his keys to success, why he's the right guy for the job, and who and how he works with real estate agents. And I say good morning to you, Whitney.
Hey, Scott. How you doing, buddy? Good morning.
Very happy. Very happy. We've been looking forward to hearing your story and how you fit within this industry and what benefit you have to working with you and your agent referral partners.
Okay. What would you like to know, Scott?
Okay, so tell me about you. I'd like to know your background. I mean, where you're from, and how'd you start this industry?
Let's see, Scott. I was born and raised. I'm a Floridian. I'm one of the few. Jacksonville, Florida. Grew up in the '80s. I think you and I are pretty close in age. So had a great life. At the ripe age of 18, I made a decision to go in the Marine Corps. Best decision I ever made. It's influenced everything I've ever done with my life. I like long walks on the beach. I'll tell you, Scott, kind of get right to it. When I got out of the Marine Corps, I had an 8-month-old son, and I needed to make money. And I ended up in this business. I couldn't spell mortgage. I didn't know what a mortgage was. I was in the right place at the right time. My car broke down in a shopping center. And this is a true story. They said mortgages. It was 9 o'clock at night. And I saw some people inside this little office. I didn't have a cell phone at the time. 1997, September of 97. Go in there, get on, ask them if I can use their phone, strike up a conversation. A week later, I'm packing my stuff up from Jacksonville, where I'd gone home after the Marine Corps. Next thing you know, I'm learning the mortgage business. And I guess, we all have a niche. For me, I got lucky in that I didn't have to. The two jobs that I've had in my life as an adult are the Marines and the mortgage business, period. But I fell into a niche. I found it exciting. I got to work with people. I was on my own time. I had a great mentor at the time, and my business just took off. This is the favorite part about my story when it comes to the mortgage business. Within about 6 months, I started making real money. My first month in this business as a licensed loan officer, I made $27,000. That was more than my entire time in the Marine Corps. So being kind of like this gung-ho guy my whole life, and let's grab it while we can, I called my dad up and I said, "Hey, Dad, I'm going to open up my own mortgage shop." Now, I'd been in the business about 6 months at this point. And the best advice that I've ever been given was from my father. He said, "Whitney," he said, "you don't know crap yet. You need to give it a couple more years." And I did get down on that advice, but he was right. So I seasoned myself a little bit. 2 years later, I opened up my own shop with what little bitty money I had at that time, and I never looked back. And it's been a wonderful career for me. I've been in the different cycles, the peaks and valleys. We all know what happened in 2007, 8, 9. Stayed with it. And as things started to get back to normal in the business, I really set my goals. I was only 22 when I got in this business. I've been in it for 25 years. I don't think you really get smart till you're about 40. So there were some ups and downs that we all go through, personal things in life. But that's I've got a 25-year-old son that was in the Marine Corps. I've got 2 little girls, a 7-year-old and 2-year-old. That blows people away. Life has been good because I've made the choice, to push at the times I didn't want to. Over the past few years, the best decision I ever made. Before this started, you and I were talking about when we got in the business and the tools we didn't have. 2018, I reached out to a good friend of mine, Christine Beckwith, and I began coaching. If I could give anybody that's in this business a little bit of advice right now, don't wait 18 years to look for coaching. It had the biggest impact. While I knew the things and I didn't so much need the accountability, I needed somebody to show me what I wasn't doing. And For me, it was social media. I was very reluctant to social media and the technology, and wasn't a big Facebook fan. And um, she put me on the right path, and it's been an even better experience. I've met so many people that I don't think I would have met. You know, guys like Tom Mancuso, um, Dave Hutchinson, all these wonderful people that have driven me when I see their stuff out there, and it makes me want to be a better loan officer or a better this, whatever. But that's kind of it for me in a nutshell about my background. Um, and I absolutely, I don't feel married to this business. I could do other things if I wanted to, but I have so much fun, not for the challenge involved, but you can really set, I mean, the sky's the limit in this business. It depends on how hard you want to work. But I will tell you the single biggest thing for me that's helped me is I've always asked for help. You're not going to do anything on your own. Whether you're a top producer, been doing it for 20 years, you know, I know Tom Mancuso is a great example. I've got a lot more experience in terms of tenure and years in this, but he inspires me. You've got to be inspired. You've got to ask for help. You can't do this on your own. Nobody gets to the top of Mount Everest without help. And that's kind of where I would leave
Right,
the
of course.
stuff, you know. But and then you get these wonderful opportunities to
I,
come on with
I,
guys like you.
well, I think, there's an old expression, it's an African phrase, or if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And,
Yeah.
that's a real spirit of camaraderie. And we learn so much. I'm in that program as well. Christine's an old friend. I learned so much. I'm so happy I'm there. That's how we met. I want to talk about, your services and why you are someone on a nuts and bolts basis. How can you help a buyer get their offer accepted? I mean, how can you collaborate with that agent to make your mutual client the one they select? What's a way?
You know, all the years of experience really don't matter unless you're really going to be direct. We're in a market, especially right now, where you've got to have your wits about you. Um, I don't look at this job as a sales position, really. You just got to give the information, and you got to give it in such a way where people are going to feel comfortable. One of the things, and I've had this conversation a lot here lately, is the power of saying no. You know what I mean? You've got to be, you've got to put it out there. You've got to be able to back up what you say. Nobody wants to be sugarcoated. The agents, all they want is somebody to answer the phone. I think for me anyway, 90%, 99% of my business is referral from real estate agents. But I deliver communication. I deliver the availability. The expertise, of course, comes with that. But buyers need to be educated the right way. They don't want to be sold. They want to know that I'm the right guy for the job. And I back that up with just being authentic. Authentic 100% of the time. You're not always going to get the sugar-coated BS answer, that tends to, when we're in sales positions, and that's what we are, people don't want to be sold anymore these days. There's too much information out there. But at the end of the day, they want authenticity. That's the most important thing. And with, I specialize in VA. I was in the Marine Corps. My whole family served. It's a passion that I have. I communicate better with military folks, I think, than somebody that wasn't in the military. I think we all have a military connection, though. But for me, learning,
Sure, speak the language.
And just because I don't have time for the BS, the buyer doesn't, the agents don't. But the power of saying no has gotten me more business because they knew what I was saying was the truth. I put myself out there on social media. Sometimes I make myself look like a jackass. That goes for the territory. Some people respond well to it. Others don't. I think you've seen enough of my social media content that I pretty much say it like it is. I don't want to get into a situation ever with one of my referral partners or their buyer where I said yes for the wrong reason. And then the quality of life goes away for me and the experience for the agent. And that's what it comes down to. When we start that transaction, yeah, we're all going to make a little bit of money, but I want it to be a good experience. The quality of life piece for me is a big, big darn deal. I don't want to. I
Sure.
want everybody to have fun and be friends at the end of it, and hopefully get a positive referral, or somebody post something positive on Google. We all love that, right?
Well, this is a relationship business, and yes, there's about homes and money. And I told a member of my staff at some point that we are number two. We did so many closings in Westchester County and Long Island and this Connecticut and all of the boroughs of the city that we're number two. We deal with people's homes and their money. Number one is, of course, your family and your health. We can't do anything about that. We're not doctors. We can't help anything, but we certainly were really, really a big market contributor and participant with people's homes and their money. I think is really, really important. The referrals that are able to go back and forth. What I'm really proud about PlugIntro is someone like you can stake your flag in the ground, claim that position of being that local expert, and offer that to agents. I think there's been a huge lack of effort made, number one, where lenders are trying to create a reciprocal relation instead of just asking and begging for business. That's number one. And number two, I'm happy you said that your business is entirely or almost entirely realtor agent referral partner based, because all the venture capital and all the Wall Street funding is going to direct, as you know, contact from lender to borrower. Look at the Rocket commercial in the Super Bowl. People believe that's real. In my area, if you come, and all the millennials who are starting to make money, if you come to and present a listing agent or your own buyer's agent with a Rocket or almost any online, that is roundly rejected. That we know that there's no Whitney Hall behind there. We know that there's nobody who's giving real advice and making sure that that we all care about it. I mean, this transaction is not a disjointed thing. It's a collaborative effort. I mean, and I know that you are so important. You place so much importance, I should say, on relationships where there's trust. No one trusts Rocket Mortgage, right? How do you deal with that, the online onslaught?
Well, you've said it. I mean, when one of my referral partners calls me up and says, "Hey, Whitney, they've gone with Rocket, but would you talk to them?" I don't try. I would never diminish any online lender or anything like that, but you're not going to get the one-on-one service, especially in this market. I'm not going to call it hand-holding, but what people want is to know that you care. I will tell you, my personal loan was through Quicken Loan several years ago. And from time to time, I will call up an online lender and act like a borrower. I want to find out what their script is, right? It goes back to what I said a few minutes ago. You're being sold. And, I try to stay away from that. One of the things when I have a first-time home buyer, we don't just talk about their mortgage. I want to educate them on a budget. I want to talk to them about, the importance of this or the importance of that. One of the biggest failures I think we have as a society is not teaching our kids in high school about credit and how to budget. And, there's a home ec class maybe, but these folks get out here because I've established myself and I've got good relationships. That trust, when that agent calls me up to send me that buyer, they know that they can trust me. Now I've got to win the trust of the buyer. But one of the big things is I don't have to sell. If you're a real estate agent and you're working with a buyer, you're the first person that's come into contact with that buyer. So, Joe Smith buyer meeting with an agent, hey, call Whitney. I don't have to sell at that point. I just have to deliver. And when I this is my philosophy. Right. I'm going to take care of your buyer. Hell yeah, I'm going to take care of them. But my real client in that transaction is the real estate agent. That's where my next deal is going to come from. This business is not cupcakes and rainbows all the time. There's going to have, an appraisal is going to come in short. I know a lot of LOs, they go into panic mode. We're going to get that, the second I get that low appraisal, we're going to start making phone calls. I don't want to go to bed with that information. You know what I mean? So, but I think at the end of the day, you do have technology has taken that personalization out of it. And like you said, the agents want Zillow or they want this, and all this technology is great. We don't meet with as many buyers these days because of technology and online applications and things like that. But you have to make everybody in the transaction. You set the tone for that from day one. The moment, I mean, this is my moneymaker. This is where I make my money. I answer it, and whether it's 8 o'clock Saturday morning or 9 o'clock on Sunday night, that agent's trying to make a sale. And that buyer's trying to get an offer in because there's 50 other people trying to do the same thing on that property with these type of market conditions that we're in. But at the end of the day, authentic, do your job, do it right, the good news, the bad news and all that, and celebrate and go above and beyond the next guy. You have to do that. You do that when I get a contract. The moment I get a contract, the first thing I do is call the listing agent. Try to establish, let them know, hey, we're going to go through this. If you need anything, don't hesitate to call me. I'm not going to be that guy that says, oh, I can't talk to you. We're all in this together. It's a team effort. The listing agent, the seller, the buyer.
Sure. I mean, communication is key, and that's where that's where I find the respect comes in. If someone cares enough to really be truthful and open and give their best to make this deal happen, you're affecting a lot of people's lives. The agents, the buyers, the sellers, even the professionals that work alongside them, the home inspector, the stager. There's about 7 or 10 people in every transaction. And if we're really looking together, I mean, but I call that people working in their business. I formed PlugIntro for myself because I wasn't as fortunate as you, I would say, where I didn't have enough people to speak to, and we're competing against big companies. So you need something of value. So if I could give other businesses and other professionals a chance to promote their business, just like you have this platform now. You're on a year-long video series. You can share this with agents that don't have this and stand out because you're going to be doing it with them and for them. Right. That gives you a really competitive advantage. And it comes from a place of contribution where you're the good guy. You're doing the push-ups right now. You're on this video with me, and we're planning our future. So you're doing the hard work, and they're the beneficiary of that effort.
One of the favorite words that's really only become prevalent in the past few years, transactional. We don't want to be transactional. We want a long-term relationship with that. But one of the things that I found with this type of platform is outside of the transaction, you've got to have a relationship with the people, and it should be you should be having barbecues. You should be going here. If you get something of value, like we discussed earlier, PlugIntro, you share that with people of like mind. You're giving them something to help them, to help help their business grow, whether they're smart enough to realize there's a benefit to it or not. Not everybody's a big fan of technology. I wasn't. I said that in the beginning. But there's so many great people in this business. We've talked about Tom Mancuso and Christine Beckwith, and I like to think that I'm a pretty good guy. I've seen, you and I've been going back and forth for a year and a half now. We have to work together as a team. We are fighting the big dogs, fintech and all these things. People would panic. I remember when Zillow came out and said they're getting into the home selling business, everybody panicked. That's not going to work. And I'm not a soothsayer, but we know it didn't work. We've talked about when an agent comes and says, hey, Whitney, will you pay for my Zillow? My response is an unequivocal no. Every time. My commitment to you is to make sure your deal's going to close. That's what you're going to get from me. Me spending $500 a month. We're 6 months into it. Now I've spent $3,000. We haven't closed a transaction together. I lose. Maybe I get one at the end and it balances me out, right? But the real value that we can give to each other, you're doing things like this, your referral partners. A lot of people think that there's this attitude of that real estate agents, prima donna and all that good stuff. The best agents that I know, the best LOs that I know, the best people in this business ask for help, and they share their best content for free. And that's something that I've learned with the technology and the social media platforms over the past few years. I've only learned to do this in the past 3 or 4 years. I wish maybe sooner, than I did. I'd gotten on board with it. But I remember Christine Beckwith telling me, the train has already left the building. You better get on it now. Start running down the tracks. And through all of these things and things like PlugIntro, I'm able to give more value than just being the guy that's going to close your transaction.
Yeah, I mean, too many people believe that technology is the answer, where it's really set it and forget it. Spend the money, it's automated. That's not true. People only, I love this phrase, only know how much you care. No, only care what you know until they know how much you care. People have a chance to promote themselves. But listen, shining, and Laura told me this, shining the light on someone else, featuring them, is fantastic. It's hard to do over a continued period of time. That's why I created with Sophie and offering to all people the chance that you can offer the spotlight to others. We do the work a lot for people. We want them. We make you look good, and I think I am putting my best foot forward by associating with quality people. But we're interested in who you can reach. I mean, Whitney, there's somebody's plumber, there's somebody's cousin, there's somebody's dentist, there's somebody's friend from school that you haven't met yet, just because you haven't had the chance. We haven't allowed the universe to bring that person to you. So by putting people in a room, a digital place, my platform is 500, 600 people. So I meet people constantly, and people, they say, I know you. And I said, I didn't meet you, don't know you yet. But if you're not giving away a digital position in this day and age, you're crazy. And with a personal touch such as this,
you have to. I know there's a lot of companies out there, marketing companies. I talk to them all the time. They want to charge you $30,000 a year to do what you're doing, and you're getting canned videos, or you're getting the one size fits all approach. That just work. You will not work. You will fail. And you nailed it. This is not set it and forget it. It's constantly updating your content, constantly reaching out. You talk about.
Well, I mean, we're gonna hear soon, sometime next month, when the clocks change. I get emails from realtors, change your clocks. I mean, really? So I knew that. And what value is that?
There is no value to it. Sometimes I'll tell you, Scott, I struggle to find something of value to share because, I wouldn't say you run out of content. You're trying to be different. You want to give something different, and you really have to think outside the box to do that sometimes. This is an outside the box approach that you've created. This is something different.
Listen, I'm happy you're participating. And somebody said to me, well, where's the content? I said, first of all, content means something for me. I'm not here to entertain you. I'm not even here to educate you. The best content I have is everyone throwing their professional approach in the pot, giving others a chance to shine the light on themselves. That is limitless. That's never going to stop. So if you keep offering this place, or any way, or even to barbecue, or a holiday party, but barbecues and holiday parties cost money and take away from time. I think that the internet and these Facebook groups and a specialized platform such as this gives you the chance to give till it hurts, and that's the content.
Yeah,
that's the power.
And having that resource, the go-to resource.
So I'm really happy. Where it's one thing. I believe, what does Zig Ziglar say? You can get anything you want in life if you help enough people. And we have the perfect opportunity in this day and age, whether you're with PlugIntro or not, if you're doing it on Facebook, if you're doing it at parties with EXP. We do this for agents. We give EXP agents another way to make an impact on non-EXP agents' lives. And you know what? It's unique. We're happy. And I'm thankful today that we got the chance to learn more about you, and a chance to learn more about the real estate industry, and a chance to connect with some of the people we will in the future. This is just the beginning. We're here for a year. We're going to impact a lot of people. We're going to put 400 or 500 people in your group and other groups. I'm looking forward to. What else do you want to say? I want to hear, your closing remarks.
For the folks watching, I would say embrace everything you can. You can't take in everything, but you got to be selective. You've got to open your mind. No one's getting to the top of the mountain by themselves at the end of the day. And when you reached out to me with the invite, hey, I'll be honest with you, it made me feel good like hell. I think when I posted that video a week or so ago, within a minute or so, you had texted me, and it makes, there's a feel good. There is a feel good. I know a lot of LOs that are not top tier LOs that don't do this type of thing. And I would say to anybody, if you've got a top 1%, or guys like Tom Mancuso, yourself, or the Christine Beckwiths out there, you're getting 100% of the individual, and they're all, every one of those folks I just mentioned are authentic. But you got to get out of this mindset that you know everything. There's nothing you can learn, because after 25 years in this business, I would imagine I only know about 5% of what I really need to know. And I'm glad that we got to do this, Scott. I'm excited about it. You've motivated me today. I think in this business, we're not so much competing with each other. We need
we're going to do a big job. It's
got to collaborate.
It's going to be, it's fun. And the best part about it, I'm with you. The best part about it is offering to others. I spend time every day offering these platforms, and you're going to see hundreds, and I'm glad you're one of the leaders, and I consider you one of the founders. So I appreciate it quite a bit.
Absolutely. I'm honored, brother.